Today I'm going to be baking a vegan almond twist. Begin by making the sweet dough. I'm going to be using my bread machine. If you don't have a bread machine, use a standing mixer. Start by adding 1 teaspoon of almond extract to 3/4 cup of warm almond milk, placing that into your bread machine. Next, add in 2 cups of unbleached bread flour. Then a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, followed by 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, and 5 tablespoons of vegan butter cut up. Lastly, add 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast and start your bread machine. If needed, add in a little more flour, a tablespoon at a time. You don't want your dough to be too dry. When the dough is done, place it in a large bowl coated with some olive oil. Cover it with a towel and allow it to rise in a warm place for 2 hours. Prepare the filling by toasting 1 cup of slivered almonds in a dry pan. Reserve 1/4 cup of the almonds and set it aside. We're going to use that for our topping. Next, place the rest of your toasted almonds into your processor and coarsely chop them, and set them aside. Next, place 1 stick of vegan butter in a bowl. To that, add 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract, and 3/4 cup of the coarsely chopped almonds. Mix that all together. I'm just using the back of a fork. Once the filling is well combined, just set that aside. Turn your dough out onto a floured board. The dough should be nice and soft and easy to roll. Roll it out to about a 14 by 20 inch rectangle. After you've rolled out the dough, transfer it to a baking sheet that is covered with parchment paper. Take a knife and make even slits along both sides of the dough. Take your almond filling and spread it down the middle of the dough. Fold the dough over onto the filling, alternating each side as you go along. Brush the top of the loaf with some almond milk or melted vegan butter. Cover the loaf and let it rise for 60 to 90 minutes. Then place it into a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes. While the loaf is cooling, make your glaze. Place a half a cup of confectioner's sugar in a bowl with 2 tablespoons of almond milk and 1 teaspoon of almond extract, and just whisk that together. When the loaf is completely cooled, generously drizzle the glaze on top of the loaf. Then sprinkle the top with 1/4 cup of toasted slivered almonds. By using the same sweet dough recipe and almond filling mixture, you can make an almond raspberry babka. Spread several tablespoons of seedless raspberry jam over the top of the dough. Then spread on the almond filling. Roll it all up into one long log, and then slice it in half. Twist the 2 pieces together to form a braid. Place it into a well-greased or parchment-lined baking pan. Cover it with a towel and allow it to rise for 2 hours. Brush it with some melted vegan butter or almond milk. Bake it in a 350-degree oven for about 40 minutes. When the loaf is completely cooled, glaze and cover it with toasted slivered almonds.